Jimmy McAllister found the net. Goal for Wednesday.
Terrific goal by Sheffield.
Chris Waddle, is he going to have a crack?
Oh, he does, and it's goal. Still Glenn Wheeler. Hayden Fred works the
Is there time for a winner?
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Tie-Dye podcast. This is extra time. We're not even halfway through the season yet, but we are going to be playing Keep, Sell or Release. We're going to look at the players in the squad, in the current squad at the moment, and we're going to do exactly that. Say whether we would keep them for next season in League One or sell them on or even get rid of them entirely and release them. Initially, when I thought about this, Matt, I was going to say, let's just say we've been taken over by someone of average wealth. We haven't been taken over by the absolute billionaires, and we haven't been taken over by the Prince and the Pauper or something. You know, like let's just say it's a
normal owner.
Yeah, just a normal owner, just to remove all of that. Now, I did look into contract length, so we can take that into consideration if you want, or we can just say that because if someone's contract ends in the summer, you can't really sell them because that means we'd have to sign a new contract in order to do that. But look, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I mean, I will just touch on contract lengths if I can, and also the players that we're going to look at. Of the squad of players, these 19 that have played this season, I've not included the lads that have played in the Cup or a few minutes in the league. So I have included the likes of Ernie Weaver and George Brown because they did play certainly a few games anyway. So it's going to be, which ones you're going to keep for League One, which ones we're going to sell, which ones we're going to release, and also we're going to have reasons as well. It's not going to be Pierce Charles, sell, buy. Next one is that would be quick if we did that way. So, just on contracts as well, if we were to take that into consideration, there are a number that we don't know the expiry dates of. I've just looked on transfermarket.com for transparency. Those that we don't know of, Chalobah, Ingleson and Palmer. Now, I would say that Palmer would be this season, I would have thought.
He's out this year because he signed somebody anecdotally, I think it was Danny Röhl, said he signed a 2-year deal. Right,
okay. Chalobah, that if he's out of contract this season, that'll be a 2-year deal, which I can't see us giving him any more than that. Ingleson, he could be longer. I could see him have been given maybe a 3-year deal, given that. I mean, Kubatski's got a deal until 2028, and he was signed at the same time in kind of a similar ilk. Yeah, he could be a bit longer, but we don't know about those. Baz, Cooper, Iofa, and both of the Lows are out of contract at the end of the season. Valerie Bernard McNeil, Charles Faziri, and Otabeo are end of next season. Ugbo, Kubatski, and Kadamatre are summer 2028.
Oh my God, there's going to be people in Discord who are losing their fucking minds when you just said that. Like, absolutely fucking going ballistic.
Yeah. Ugbo, 2028? Fucking hell.
So I think it
was George that was saying that the panic room is just being built as we speak. Like we might need it quick.
I'm so excited. Yeah, because the other thing is, James, I know that just to sidetrack a little bit here. How excited are you to actually learn how much, number one, a player cost, and two, how long their deals are?
Yeah, can you imagine if the first thing, and we've signed a player for undisclosed fee on a contract. When is it going to be two? When?
Oh dear.
Well, people are talking about when is it going to be two. Daniel said there was an article in the Star stating Ingleson only had until the summer, and Liam said Chalobah also as well in the summer. Wow. Right, I'm just going to have a coughing fit, but let's start on the first one. Pierce Charles, tell me what you do with Pierce Charles.
I would love to keep Pierce Charles for all of the reasons that we've seen in terms of his goalkeeping abilities and his ability to play out from the back. I think the right thing to do is to sell the player.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah, I want to keep him. I want Piers Charles. I want us to have the benefits of Piers Charles. But we've mentioned this before. I think we mentioned it last week. I just cannot see a Northern Ireland international goalkeeper wanting to play in third tier of English football if his aspirations are to still be that international goalkeeper. His agent will be touting him around, and I think you only have to watch him once and go, he's pretty good. The fact that he made 7. I know he made a bit of a clanger for the goal against Watford.
It's a difficult finish, in it.
Look, all right, it's not it's not a James Beadle howler.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. He's not Bailey Peacock Farrell.
Yeah, but he'll be disappointed. But you would caveat that by saying he made 7 saves, and 7 of those 7, there were 2 or 3 that were decent saves as well.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, there was one where he palmed it out and properly palmed it out as well. Yeah. The ball went. You could see he didn't just palm it; he pushed it. Didn't he? Like that. Yeah. That ball is going to go over there, and they're not going to score. And obviously they didn't. So yeah, I think. If you're that goalkeeper, he will 100% get a gig in the Championship. It wouldn't surprise me if Premier League clubs came in. I know West Ham have been touted as being interested in him. Is he Premier League ready? Probably not, but it wouldn't surprise me if he went to Premier League and then got loaned out into the Championship. Is my guess. I don't think a season in League One does anything for his development. Yeah, he's ready to do a full season in Championship. He's not. Do you know what I mean? I mean, could he do a Beadle and do 6 months in League One and then move in the second half of the season back to the Championship? Maybe, but he'd have to sign a season long though. I don't think anyone's taking a goalkeeper on a 6-month loan.
No, they're not.
It'd have to be a season and then recall him kind of thing, because it just knackers you up, doesn't it? Really for that season. But yeah, I'd sell him. He's one of the ones that we could actually get some decent money for in the squad when we're looking at profit and sustainability and stuff like that. And we do need a big overhaul. That money could be used, quite well in the summer if we indeed can spend it.
Where do you think he goes, James? Like, just gun to your head now, where does he go?
West Brom, someone like that. I think. Again, I have no idea, but that's aside challenging for the top 6. I think he would go to quite easily. You never know. I mean, who's looking to go at like a Wolves?
I was
maybe
about to say Wolves. That's where I think he'll end up. I think he'll end up at a side that's too big, or will see themselves as too big for the Championship and ready to go back up to the Prem. A year of being the best goal. James Trafford, Burnley is another one he could go to. Like, if you think about what happened with James Trafford when he left, he was at Bolton. He then went back to Man City. He then signs for Burnley. He goes up, down, and then, signs for Man City again. I could 100% see Piers Charles going to Wolves and then being their long-term keeper.
JDW has just said Rangers. I can see that as well. As long as Danny Röhl is still there, because he knows exactly what he's like.
The only issue I have with Rangers, I understood the Rangers move for Jeddy Gassama.
He's the Scottish.
No, well, no. I understood the Jeddy Gassama move to Rangers. I don't understand the Charles move to Rangers, is the honest answer. Like, in terms of Jack Butland is their number 1. Jack Butland will be their number 1. I don't understand why Pearce... Like, I can imagine Rangers will be very interested in him, but if I was the player and I've got options, that they wouldn't be my top pick for going there, just because I know that there will be options of playing at a potentially higher level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it gets him... Well, hopefully gets him European football. Maybe not next season, actually, given how they're doing at the moment. But I mean, Jack Butland is 32 now, so if they were looking to move on from me, look, if he ended up there next season, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, what a shock that is. I could kind of see it just with the links with Danny Röhl.
Southampton as well would be another. I mean this very nicely. Southampton would be a lazy link, but Southampton, that he is 100% the type of profile of goalkeeper that they would go for.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't want it to happen. I want him to stay here. I hope he does stay here.
Yeah.
Just purely taking your blue tinted glasses off. We just need to. He's not, like I say, it's an opportunity to get some money, and it's just difficult circumstances, and
it's the right thing for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Selling. Yeah.
Next on the list is Deshaun Bernard. Now, we'll alternate. I'll go first on this one. I've said keep. I think he would be a good defender in League One. Yep. I don't think we get much for him if we tried to sell him, just given the injury that he's had. It doesn't sound like he's going to be back for February time, I want to say now. So he's still a long way off. He hasn't got much football until the end of the season. It's going to be interesting to see how he does return from this injury. I hope he returns quite well.
Yep.
But yeah, I like Deshaun Bernard. I know his last couple of games weren't great. He had was it Stoke? We had an absolute shocker of a game, and then I know he got injured against West Brom last season. So he wasn't as good as what he was previously. However, I think dropping down a league, I think he's he's a good ball playing defender, which I know you don't do a lot of that in League One, but I think it certainly helps if you can. You're not going to panic and things. But I also think he can be no nonsense at times as well. Yep. So yeah, for me, I'd keep him.
It's not a question for me. You have to keep Deshaun Bernard. And that works for all parties, is the honest answer. I think he uses the back end of this season to get fit. He then comes back into the pre-season camp for next year, ready to go and fit and firing. Jamaica as an international squad called up Bailey Cadamartri whilst he was playing in League One. That won't be affected by him playing in League One. He then has a season at League One to not only prove that he is by far and away the best defender in the league, an opportunity to earn a new contract at Sheffield Wednesday, or an opportunity to earn himself a good free agency move in the summer. It's a no-brainer for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. It just depends on how he comes back from this injury, doesn't it, really? And fingers crossed he does. Gabe Otigbeyo. Now, go on, you go first.
Difficult one for me, because I think Gabe Otigbeyo is actually probably a League One level defender. I think he is useful for squad rotation at that level, because I think that some of the more glaring errors and mistakes that you see at the Championship level, I don't think that you will see at League One level, simply put, because the game is very different. I don't think he would be starting, is the honest answer. I would like to keep him as a squad rotational player for League One and then release him the following year. But if there is an opportunity to move off the player this summer with the likes of Ernie Weaver, with the likes of Joe Emery, Cole McGee, Mackenzie Maltby, he can go for me. And that sounds horrible. I just don't think he's up to the standard of Championship. I don't think he's up to the standard of being a top-end League One defender. I think he is a mid-table League One defender.
Yeah, just for context as well, I don't know what Matt's going to say for any of these. By the way, I don't. So, I'm going to agree with you again. I've put down release. I wanted to say I want to keep him because we are going into League One and the level is less, and I'd like to think that could be his level. But I'll look, because he's the right age as well. He's 20 years old. Like, he's the right age profile when you're looking at that sort of stuff. But I just look at some of the other players that we've got, such as Ernie Weaver, as you mentioned, Joe Emery, another one, and I just prefer them over Gabe Otigbeyo, especially if I'm thinking I'm keeping Deshaun Bernard as well.
Yes.
So I'm looking at if we're playing a 4, it's Deshaun Bernard and it's Ernie Weaver as my two centre backs, and then also I just think we do need to bring in a lot of players because we haven't got enough. I think we can find a better player than Gabe Otigbeyo in the free agent market, loan market, whatever that may be. Maybe someone a bit more experienced, perhaps. I know I've mentioned about age profile there, but we've got Ernie Weaver to tick that box. So
you've got 3, haven't you? You've got 3 players in Ernie Weaver. You've got Cole McGee and Joe Emery, who are all of that age profile. And from what we've seen of the other 2, granted very limited cup game experience, they look more capable of coping with the level.
Yeah, exactly. So it's with a heavy heart that I would release Gabe Otigbeyo. Dom Iorfa is next. Tricky one for me because I said to myself, sell, get rid of him. But then would anyone buy Dom Iorfa? Then I was like, release him, But then I go back to League One when we were down there. Was Dom Iorfa good in League One? I don't know. I've said keep because you can't just get rid of everyone because it would it's already a tall order as it is because of the amount of people that we need to bring in. So I've said keep, but honestly, it could have been. If we got rid of him, I wouldn't be too disappointed. But I think just for balance of the squad, experience, I think we've got some other players that we're going to be talking about with a lot of experience that we're perhaps going to be maybe moving on. I think we do need that bit of being there, done that. I think that does massively help. So is he going to play every game? Not too sure, but I certainly want Dom. Yeah, I certainly want Dom in the squad for what he's going to give from that side of things.
No, he's sell or release for me, James. Sorry. The reason
you don't have to apologise. I'm not in his fan club. I'm not going to shed a tear.
His agent, he'll just be saying he's just sat in the corner of the room behind you, going, "This knob." He's sell or release for me. Dom Iorfa is he's not fit consistently. He hasn't been the entire time that he's been here. He hasn't been able to play consistently for a full year. That's the main issue. I think the other issue is that his errors have become more pronounced. When we were last down in League One, he wasn't fit for the entire campaign. He's much older than he was when we were last down there. His speed, for me, is declining. It's not like, oh my God, his legs have gone. That's not the case, but his speed is declining, and that was always his trump card. Unless we are going to play him at right back, which I have serious reservations about that. He's a release for me. The other issue, James, and this is potentially a difficult one because I don't know the ins and outs of the dressing room. When you're talking about building a culture, Dom Iorfa carries too much scar tissue for me. Too much has happened, too much has gone on for him to be able to. I would much prefer somebody like Dishon Bernard setting a new culture at Sheffield Wednesday and him being the quote-unquote experienced pro that you turn to describe being a leader on the pitch rather than a Dominic Iorfa.
Yeah, well, he's 30. He'll be 31 come start of next season. So, when we look at that, you are right. I mean, he's been here for quite some time. He's been here 2019, so he's going to be entering into his, 7th season, I think it'll be now, if he does stay on.
He'll get a move to a championship club and be a squad player. Yeah, that's what he should be.
The only thing when you said about his pace and stuff, I think he gets found out in the championship. I don't think his football intelligence is quite quick enough. He's a very reactionary, and his pace gets him out of trouble. I think in League One, it's nice to be like football intelligence probably goes down as you go through the leagues.
You're not being disrespectful. That's truth.
You're able to compete. Without having, you don't need to be too switched on against some of the forwards that you can come up against. So it might be better. But then again, like I said, we've already got Dishon Bernard. We've already got Ernie Weaver. I don't know if we play a 5. Is he your right centre half alongside? I don't know. We'll have to. We'll have to see.
I just am looking at it and I'm just thinking that now is the opportune time for him to move because, I mean, reportedly, remember when he signed that deal not the summer just gone, the summer before, and the Sheffield Wednesday admin was clearly allowed free reign of X for a couple of days where he posted the parrot whistling the Dominic Iorfa tune. That I understood and the move made sense. Since then, a lot has happened to Dominic Iorfa since we came back up into the Championship. And for my money, I think there is younger players who he is holding back from getting into the squad at this point in time. And I think you release him and he goes to somewhere like He does something very similar to what Josh Windass has done. He goes to somewhere like a Wrexham, like a this, where he's just a squad player. He's just around it. They're not asking him to play week in, week out. They're asking him to play one game in a 3-game week, and he comes in and he does a job.
Yeah, I've been neglecting the comments. So if you're, I'm great, really thankful for people getting involved.
Of course.
Do just put your the name of the player that you're talking about as well, because that will make it make it a lot easier. Go on, you're laughing.
Sorry, mate, I've just seen Daniel's comment while I was talking about it. I'd probably be a Wrexham type signing. Daniel, I'll be honest with you, I'd completely missed it. Yeah,
I saw that when you said it. I thought, have you reread the comments?
I'm so sorry.
I'll just go back a few. Sell or release for Gabe Otabeo, says Matt. Richards, Big Revs agrees with you on Gabe. JDW says release. I'm guessing that's for Gabe as well. Liam, Gabe, keep as a squad player maybe, but I'd rather sell him. John says gift. Fair enough. Then Big Rev says retain Dom for League One. John says he's a mistake waiting to happen. I do agree on that one. Liam, I offer great servant, but it's time to go. Big Rev thinks QPR will pick him up.
Yeah, I could
Daniel,
see that 100%.
Yeah, probably a Wrexham type of signing. John says if in doubt, send him to Rangers.
Amazing.
So yeah, do get involved. We'll try and read some of that as we go along. Your turn this time, Liam Cooper.
I'd keep Liam Cooper on a year-long deal. Liam Cooper is the Aidan Flint. He's the Harley Dean. He's the experienced professional who, again, you don't ask to do what we're trying to ask him to do this year, which is play too much football. You are asking him to come in to shore games up, to see games out, to come off the bench. That's all you're asking him to do. You're not asking him to play, and it's on a year-long deal. And when we go, or if we were promoted the following season, we shake hands and he probably ends his career.
Yeah, now you say it like that, and maybe you've converted me, but I've said release.
Yeah, I understand it
on Liam Cooper. I've said at the moment I would say release. He can't play 90 minutes, and who's to say that fitness will ever come back?
It won't now, not now.
I get what you're saying though, in terms of if you can't play 90 minutes, just come off the bench. Whereas now we're asking him to start because we just haven't got any other players. So I do get that point. I think also when I've seen him play, he's not. When Ernie Weaver played, I was like, "Fuck! Wow, what a player!" Like, threw himself into absolutely everything. I've not seen that. I've not been wowed by Liam Cooper. I think he's been steady. I think he's been solid. I think he certainly looks very rusty. Maybe with a pre-season. I know Big Rev said, "What's a pre-season?" Yeah, if we have one, then maybe he might get that rustiness might go away, but. I think, again, it's the age profile. He's like, what is he, 33, 34? He's
33, 34. Again, James, you're not asking him to play. You're asking him to, let's say, for argument's sake, Deshaun Bernard, we know, has now got a history of injury. If you can bring Deshaun Bernard off on 70 minutes to manage his load, and then chuck Liam Cooper in, and Liam Cooper and Ernie Weaver are next to one another and they're protecting a 2-0 lead, one of them's going to throw themselves at everything and the other one's going to win everything in the air.
I think looking at it now, I probably switched Dom for Liam Cooper. I said about Dom about the experience and things. That was more experience at the club, but I suppose what's that going to achieve when everything at the club's going to change? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you've been here for 10 years, what are you going to tell them? All the bad stories? Like, it's not as bad as what it were when he were there. Like, JD said Cooper reads the game better than any of the others. He'll mentor the younger ones. Yeah, if anything, I will probably switch Dom for Cooper for Dom. Keep Duper
Cooper.
Keep Super Duper Scooper.
Keep Super Duper Pooper Scooper.
and get rid of Dom. I agree. That is a great point. John says knows what to do. Liam Cooper, Big Revs, retain him on a short-term deal. Matt Richards says keep him. Think he'd be a great player to help shape the defence. Right. Max Lowe is another one. I've said on this one, sell, because I think he's one of the few players that we've got that I feel is championship standard. His contract does expire in the summer, so that is a bit of a tough one.
So we ain't got a choice.
So I don't think we're going to be able to sell him anyway. But if we had the opportunity to, for the purpose of this program, I would sell him. I see him turning down a contract renewal and being offered somewhere middle championship, bottom end championship. Quite easily, if Oxford stay up, it could go to Oxford. It's a team like that. A Derby County. Has he played for Derby?
Yeah, he's played for Derby.
Yeah,
and Forest and Wednesday and them.
Yeah, I could see him going to like a Derby type team as well. Yeah. To be fair, Max Lowe will not be a Sheffield Wednesday player next season. Is what I'll say.
Which is a crying shame. I'd love to keep him, but
I would as well.
Here. He won't be here. I'd love to keep him, but he won't be here because he, alongside Liam Cooper, Deschamps Bernard are the type of experienced professionals that I would want coaching young players coming. You know, when you're talking about that, I've mentioned it a number of times about setting that culture and building that footballing identity. This is who I'm on about, like these type of players. Like if you actually, play Max Lowe in the position that he's supposed to play, which is left back, I can't think of a better mentor for someone like Reece Johnson. In terms of like in a competent defence, if you James, if we line up next season at a year from now, 12 months to the day when we're playing on a Monday on Sky because we're big fish in a small pond again, and our back line reads Deschamps Bernard, Ernie Weaver, and Max Lowe with Liam Cooper coming off the bench, we may never concede another goal again. Honestly, we may never concede another goal again. Like,
champions, 110 points.
I shit you not. But I'll be honest, I just can't see Max Lowe being here. I think you're right. He will get offers from the Championship. I don't think he's afraid of a move. And for my money, I think it's his last big money move. Now, that is where a new owner could sway it and say, I'll pay you a Championship wage and then an increase on promotion. We need you here.
Yeah, because he's 28. He'll be 29 come start next season. May is his birthday.
Yeah.
So you're right. Like he's not 22 looking to further his career and prove that he can play in the Championship. Yeah, money talks, I guess, at that age, really, doesn't
100%.
it? And it's like the whole. It was the striker that went to Wrexham and dropped down a couple of leagues.
Paul Mullin.
It's like the Paul Mullin thing, isn't it? Really, that. It's a similar scenario. I do want to keep him. Let's hope that the new owner comes in and sees something in him, because I would like to. I would like to see him stay. I just can't. I can't see it.
JD says, see Jan Valerie.
You never know. You might want to stay. Stranger things have happened. You never know if they're settled. Could be a Barry Bannon-esque type thing. You never know. Daniel says depends who's in goal, in reference to not conceding a goal ever again. John says don't serve Matt anymore.
I'm telling you, Ugbo scores 20 and we don't concede a goal from December through till the end of the season.
Liam says Max Lowe keep if he wants to, but I don't expect it. Competent second tier defender. John says keep Pierce Charles as well, and we'll get 300 points.
Fucking too right, mate. Too right. Andy
we could end up with a bet. Well, do you know what?
We will. I know what you're coming on to.
We'll probably have a better squad in League One than we did in the Championship. Which is
100%.
I would say it's mental, but it isn't given the circumstances. But we might actually have the D word, depth.
Might be able to make a sub.
Yeah, exactly. Jan Valerie,
see above. Like honestly, James, just see above for the conversation that we've had on Max Lowe. Jan Valerie has no business being here next year. Max Lowe, I think, may stay for the emotional pull of things.
Yeah,
I could see it going either way. Jan Valerie will not be here, and nor should he be. If we could sell him in January, I would sell him in January.
Yeah, Jan Valerie's played on the South Coast, in the Midlands, France, and then in Yorkshire. A move clearly doesn't bother him, does it? Really?
He has got West Bromwich Albion written all over him, Jan Valerie.
There's AI, and I'm sure someone will post in the Discord, Jan Valerie with West Bromwich Albion written all over him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because AI could probably do that for you now.
But 100%.
I've said sell because he's gone to AFCON, or he will be going tomorrow, I do believe, as we sit down to record this. He's got the World Cup with Tunisia as well. Do you know what? I know we're talking about this is end of the season. There's also an element of we might get an offer we cannot refuse in January for him. I think clubs will look at the situation that we find ourselves in, and also as well. Just to, I know we're kind of adding like real life stuff into this to a certain extent, but like the situation we find ourselves in now, when we'll talk about January, there could be an element of an owner might not be sorted by then. I hope it is, but it might not be. We've got money until the end of January. Like, what an opportunity to... Well, I say what an opportunity. There could be here like a £3-4 million here that could actually just...
Agreed.
Alleviate some of the financial stresses that we might have on the football club. I know probably don't want to do it, but...
If you sell him for £2 million, you see us through to the end of the season and there's no pressure on anything. Like, you get his wages off because he'll be one of the highest earners in the squad. despite his recent interview, he will still be one of the highest earners in the squad. Despite that, I just wanted to comfort Danny. This was fucking mental. But he will still be one of the highest earners in the squad. We've done right by the player. We didn't see the best of him in a Sheffield Wednesday shirt. We saw a very competent player in a very dysfunctional team.
Look, does Jan Valery keep us up? Well, he doesn't because we're down already. So it doesn't.
Exactly.
So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So get him gone, and then maybe we can bring in 3 or 4 players. Like with just for the or 2 players with the wages, and then an extra couple with some of the money that we've got, and then the rest of it goes just to keep us ticking over. So yeah, again, I think he's a good player, Jan Valery. Clearly, he's another, I think another international player that we've got. We've so shit, but yet we've got people going off to AFCON. Mental. Like, how's that work? How's that happen? But yeah, it's like I said, it might not even be in the summer, to be honest. Your good old friend Sean Fazier. What about him? Oh God, he's taking a while.
Yeah, I'll be honest, James, I'm keeping him, but I'm also looking to strengthen. If he is going to play right back, I'm looking to strengthen the area of squad. And my worry for Sean is that he becomes Liam Palmer Mark II in terms of he's not quite good enough to be a defensive midfielder. He's not quite good enough to be starting right back, but we constantly give him a contract because he's useful. And again, everybody knows I like the player. I would like to see him in a competent defence to be able to actually grow and mature as a footballer, and you can see what you've got. Because at this point in time, I don't know what we've got in him. I know we've got a very physically capable player at Championship level and also at League One level. I don't know what his technical level is, because he does certain things really well, and then he does other things where he'll play a blind pass 20 yards straight to their winger. And you look at it and you go, what the fuck was that? Again, he for me fits into the category of Ernie Weaver and Cole McGee, Joe Emery, Reece Johnson. You need to keep these players around and see what you've actually got with them in a competent team. But he has proved that he can play at Championship level. So for me, he is a keep.
Yeah. Could someone just fill Elliot in about the rest of the show? Because I think he's just thrown his phone through the window with what Matt's just said there. So can someone just tell him what happens in the next 25 minutes or so?
He's a good player, but I don't think we know what you've got. I've jump off the page, does it?
No, I've said keep, but you're right. Like, he went on loan to Carlisle. All right, a struggling side, but hardly played.
Yeah.
You'd like to think that he would be first team regular and starting every single week for them. I don't know if he had injuries or not. I'm not too sure. I don't think he did, or he might have had a little niggly injury, but he certainly should have played more than the 14 games that he did. He's only playing now because we are desperate. Had we not be desperate, he wouldn't be playing. I suppose you could also say that for Ernie Weaver and George Brown and stuff like that as well. But they've come on and one of them scored goals and one of them's blocked every single shot that he's faced pretty much. So yeah, you're right. He hasn't. He hasn't. Choose your words. Leapt off the page. Yeah, again, his right age profile, 20 years old. He does have that Championship experience. Could League One be his level, or certainly his level for now, and kind of, I don't want to say that reinvent himself, but show that he can be a first team regular and things. Maybe. Sometimes it does take players to drop down a little bit. He played in League Two before. He perhaps didn't expect to be playing Championship football this season at all. I mean, he's got a goal as well. That's going to do his confidence a world of good. He's playing in a position that he self-confessed didn't want to play in. It's not his position, which then I suppose begs the question: is he going to want to play right back? He's doing a job at the moment, and I'm sure he's forever grateful. Is he wanting to play central defensive midfield? Is he? There's also the element of, I mean, I don't know when his contract expires, but if he's on a longer contract than the end of this season, maybe I don't know. Maybe he gets an offer to go to another League One club and play his position that he wants to play, which might be central defensive midfield. He might even drop down to League Two, because again, he might. does he stay and hope that he keeps his place? But if there's whispers of bringing in other players in his position, he might be like, well, I'm not going to play now. I'm really struggling. So,
which both of the positions that he likes to play, central midfield, whether that be defensive midfield or centre midfield, and right back, we will be strengthening in the summer. So he will be up against immediate competition. Now, from what I have seen from Sean, I really like him, obviously. I think his physical attributes make him a professional footballer in terms of his pace is much quicker than people think. His his strength is good. He has a good leap on him. Like, he is good at, when a player beats him, not giving up. All of those physical attributes. My concern is, it's not necessarily League One. It's what are you signing him for when you get back up into the Championship, because that is what the perennial problem with Liam Palmer has always been, is he's not quite good enough for the Championship and he's all right at League One. I would hope where the football club goes in the next 10 years that we're actually we're in a much better standing than that, but age is 100% on his side and he is in the club and in the door. And I think for me, he has earned the right this year to 100% have a crack at it next year.
Liam's just said he signed a new deal until January. Signed a new deal in January until 2028. I mean, there's also an element of, do we send him out on a 6-month loan, even in the same league? I know that sounds mad, but like sending him off to a lower League One side to get him the game time, and then look at recalling him in January once he's fit, if another team would do that.
So Liam Palmer. Off to Tranmere you go.
Yeah. Because I'm sure he doesn't want to, having played as regularly what he has. He's played more games for Wednesday than he has for Carlisle.
Yeah.
And he went there to play games, and he didn't. So
I would like to keep him with his contract length that obviously Liam's mentioned. We will be keeping him. My concern is that his development stalls with players who will be coming in his position.
Liam Palmer, then
gone. See you later.
Yeah, I've said thank you for your service. You go down as a legend. But yeah, he shouldn't have been playing as much football as what he has been in the last 2 seasons, let alone this season.
Correct.
It's nothing personal. Move on. Probably, I would say keep him. Not keep him, but I would like to see him in the youth setup. I think he's set up his own academy and things. Yeah. He will just move into that academy. I hope that academy does have a link to Sheffield Wednesday as well, and we can have that harmonious relationship which kind of strength. It makes
it works
the academy.
For everybody.
Yeah, it makes the academy. But we then have an academy without having an academy, don't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and you can do it that way. I know these other, because there is academies out there that aren't even affiliated to clubs, aren't there? I've seen that before. Yeah. So,
to me, Liam Palmer goes and does what Richard Wood did. Goes and has 2 years at a Doncaster or a Rotherham or somewhere like that, and then retires, and his coaching setup is already there.
I don't think he will. I think Wednesday will be his last club, and I think he's already been setting up all these things outside of football already. He's like different businesses that he's got. I think ready for that. I don't think he wants. I don't think he wants it. I don't think he wants to carry on.
Enough.
And I mean, I could be totally wrong. And if he did go, it would be Rotherham, Donny, Chesterfield. Someone like that.
The thing is, James, he's still more than physically fit enough to play football for a full season. Like, he is still physically capable to do so. The problem is as we know, he's not got the quality to play at this level. And I personally have my reservations about him playing regular week in, week out football for a side competing at the top end of the division.
Yeah, people have just been saying that's where we got George Brown from, one of those academies. Where was it? Which one was it? I can't remember which one.
Who knows?
Yeah, but yeah, that's right. JDW says Palmer gone. John says it's thanks. Yep. John says Palmer 2 years in nursing home. That's a bit harsh, John.
Yeah, it's harsh. It's nothing against the player. We just need to move on from him.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. Ernie Weave, I think, is another quick one for me.
One keep. Yeah.
Give him a new contract, 10 years. Puts 110% effort in. I am firmly in the Ernie Weaver fan club. Merchandise will be out in the summer, ready for your holidays. Beach towels, beach bags, beach balls, beach
One
everything.
of them bricks that you throw down to the bottom of the swimming pool because he'll let it.
Sponsored by Ernie Weaver. You can have all that sort of stuff. We will be ready for the summer, as I said. I'm just so gutted that he's out for so long, really, at the moment, because I thought he was fantastic.
4-year deal, sell him in 2.
Yeah.
4-year deal, sell him in 2, or go all full Brighton and do a Lewis Dunk and just keep him forever. He's a fantastic footballer. I've no idea what he'll come back like from injury. I don't know whether he's going to be a fantastic footballer in a competent defence. I think he's a fantastic defender in a shit defence where he's asked to just put himself on the line in front of everything. I think he's still a very talented footballer. I would be signing him up to a long-term deal, and then, dependent on where we are, looking to ship him out in 2 years.
Yeah, someone could sign him quite quickly as well. Like if he has a good
100%.
season in League One, he could get snapped up because people are like that's what the big clubs do. They just
what's his name?
They just hoover
Kitchen,
up.
Liam
Kitchen.
Anderson. Yeah. Kitchen, Anderson. Yeah.
Big sides of top clubs just hoover up all the young talent, and they 2-3 million to them's nothing, is it?
Yeah.
If he doesn't make it, it doesn't really matter. That's what they do. When you're signing players for hundreds of millions, and I could see that for him definitely. Right, let's. John says shit. Ernie Weaver 10-year contract, injured week 2. John, you've been very negative, John. Like, come on, where? I know. Sheffield Wednesday is like beating you to death, but let's have a bit of positivity, John. We'll talk about Svante Ingolson next. So maybe
I was just going to say, George has asked, are we going through every player at the club right down to the 17-year-olds? No, we're not, George, and this is about to get a lot shorter because defenders is where we've actually got players.
Yeah, exactly. Right, next, midfielders. We'll still be here at midnight. Svante Ingolson, I've said keep. I think I know you're not too...
Yeah.
You're not in his fan club, as we've been mentioning before. But I think he's the type of player that we perhaps do need in League One. I think again, it's League One. He's probably his level. He's the Swedish Callum Patterson. I feel. So I think next season, some of the clubs that'll be coming to Hillsborough, like we saw the last time we were down there, it's gonna be like their cup final for some of them. And I think you need someone that can just go through a man. And just run around a lot when it's getting a little bit tough as well. So, yeah, I would keep Svante Ingolson.
Yep, keep Svante Ingolson at League One. He has the opportunity to actually do what he came here to do, which was become that sort of like Nordic figure that everybody gravitates towards and all the rest of it. He also has the opportunity to actually play in the position that we signed him for. I would keep Svante Ingolson in League One because I think in, again, 12 months down the line, when we're playing fucking Cheltenham or Northampton on some shit old pitch and the wind's whipping left, right and centre, that is what you need, that effort, that fight, all of those, shit Steve Bracknell sort of things. Like, he's fine there.
John
absolutely
says,
fine.
Keep him for the long throw is the way to go. Daniel's on the same vein. Keep him for the long throws that we never score from. I think what we need to do, them advertising hoardings, just move them back a couple of foot. Or just move the touchline.
That on the north is just nonsense.
He has to run, he runs along the touch. Referee's telling him, whoa, get forward, mate.
If we've got
he's like, no, I am. I am taking it. I will get there. I've got to do a run up. Like, also as well, he's gonna be injured with some sort of injury to his
oblique injury or
side, whatever these muscles are on your side, like twist. Because he watch it. I mean, when he does it, he's always in front of me. Like when he's taking he runs and then he kind of stops and then turns and then throws. Like, I don't think
he's so thick.
I bet if he just threw it from a standing position, he would probably throw it as far, if not further, than what he does with that stupid run. But then on the other side, he's got loads of room to throw it.
Mountains.
If we've got Svante Ingolson, we are going to utilise his long throws. Just move the touchline in. Like, I'm sure you can. Like, you can change the width of your pitch, or we need to look at moving those advertising hoardings, them light up ones, because it just does not help us. The best. Do you know when we had all the stewards that came on the pitch for that game where they all thought, well, when we did actually run on, so they did absolutely nothing in the end. I thought they were going to be on the pitch. I thought they were going to get clattered, me. You know, like running down the wing.
Yeah.
Like one's just going to pick ball up or something and just was going to hit him as they've gone down. But anyway, right, we've done Svante then. Let's move on to Barry Bannon. I've said keep, but with the caveat that I don't want to see him playing week in, week out, every single game. I think he's starting to break down a little bit. We don't know if he's going to feature. I think he said he's going to feature, but I don't think he's going to start tomorrow, which is going to be a crying shame. But I think Wes Houlihan did it with, I want to say, Cambridge, where he kind of I spoke to Cambridge fans and they were like, "Oh, he only plays Saturdays. He doesn't play in the midweek games." If that happened with Barry Bannon, I'm all for that. League One Barry Bannon, if he only plays, one game a week, yeah, I think he will be still hands down the best player in League One. To be honest,
easiest one on the list. Keep. There's no other.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that needs to be said. Keep him as long as he can. As long as he wants to be here. Keep.
Yeah, John says keep him so he can admire the statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be here for as long as he wants, and he shouldn't be able to dictate his playing time anymore.
We need to move away from him, don't we? We need to orchestrate a point where we don't have Barry Bannon anymore, and I think next season is that time where we can do that. He cannot play for us forever, as much as we want it. So this is where we start to bring in other players and seeing what life without Barry Bannon looks like for me.
Hey, go back and get George Byers. I'm sure he'll be thrilled about actually allowing that move to happen. I nearly went all Scouse kid outside Anfield. I'm being serious. Go back and get George Byers from Port Vale, bring him home, quote unquote, all the rest of it, and cycle between the two of them, because George Byers has injury issues and Barry Bannon is 36. Cycle between the two and just rotate them game by game, and they'll both I really honestly think this about George Byers. I think both would genuinely be very happy with that arrangement.
Possibly, yeah. Olaf Kabatski, what we're saying, Matt? Who's he?
Difficult one.
I'll go first then. I've said release because I know he can't because of his contract, because he's contracted until 2042 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So in that case, I would probably loan him out. I haven't seen anything of him.
Yeah.
He's been injured and he's played, I think I looked at it, 550 minutes of championship football in 1.5 seasons. And he started 6 games. That's it. I don't have enough of a sample. I can't tell you what type of footballer Olaf Kabatski is. We all got really excited when we signed him. Oh, we've signed diamond in the rough and all that sort of stuff. But it's just not really materialised. If he was here or wasn't here, it wouldn't really. It doesn't matter to me. I've not seen enough of him to be worried about him really. But like I said, he's got a contract for another 2 years, I think. So loan him out to someone else and probably abroad. To be honest, he'll go to a team abroad, and then he can get some game time, and then you never know. Maybe sell him after that, I suppose. I
think you've got to sell him. Personally, I think you've got to try and find a move for him, and if you can't find a move for him, you've got to figure out a way to. I think back to the game earlier this season at Wrexham, where he was good in that game of football. He was good in that game of football. I look at the reason why, and it was the same with Charlie McNeil out on the wide right, because we monopolised the ball and actually fed them the ball and actually gave them the opportunity to dictate and do something. We haven't done that.
It was only all right, though. I don't think he lit it up, did he? Do you know what I mean? I remember a few times where he didn't even beat his man. I was like, what have we bought him for?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, James. It's just, I think you can't be releasing a player, personal opinion, I don't think you can be releasing a player with 2 years left on his deal.
You can't, which is why I said kind of loan him out, really. Yeah. Big Rev says, Olaf, sell the snowman or release. Daniel, I haven't seen enough of him. Maybe give him 6 months in League One and bin him off if he's no good. Yeah. John says we can't keep a croc. JD says sell as we don't currently play a system that suits him. And George says I can't honestly remember him doing anything for us. Probably passed it back to Bannon a few times. Nathaniel Shalabar. Go on then.
Gone. Technically very good footballer. Is when we're laughing there about Olaf Kabatsky being fit, no, he's no from me. Nathaniel Chalobah is not a Sheffield Wednesday central midfielder for me. He's not the type of profile of central midfielder. He's not the type of profile, even if that we were a competent side, because he couldn't get into the side last year. For me, he doesn't suit the iteration of Sheffield Wednesday that we have, and I don't think he embodies what works in Sheffield football culture, if that makes sense. Like, he's a very pretty footballer in terms of it's all one-touch passing, it's all sideways, it's all backwards. It's very Kenny Lunt 2025. For me personally, again, thanks for Norwich. That was amazing the way you came on and rescued that game, because it was going nowhere when Shea Charles was on. I can't believe I've just said that. And he was good at Middlesbrough. He's never fit. He's got a history of being not fit. Nobody will buy him because nobody bought him. That's why we were able to sign him. Gone.
Yep. Just a quick one. Steph says, can you turn the ads off? Apologies. They should have been off. My mistake. I have turned them off now, but yeah, apologies for that one. I'm just going to bring this comment up for Chalobah. Can't keep a croc. Yeah, like, he's just too injury prone. I know that's a bit rich considering what I said about like Deshaun Bernard, but I think it's totally different. Like, he's hardly played. Nathaniel Chalobah, Deshaun Bernard's just had one bad injury, which hopefully doesn't lead him to be injury prone. I think I'm just going to echo what you said. Really, we need to move on from players like that. He won't be the cheapest player that we've got, and if you're paying half decent money for someone, you need him to play regular football, and he just won't. So. I
agree. I do agree with this comment that George has made, which is when we dominate the ball in League One, he could run things in midfield. He could, but he's just not fit. And
he's got to be there, hasn't he?
Yeah, and the best club that has found a way to manage him was West Brom. And I said this when we signed him. He's great if you are monopolising the ball and you want to bring him on for 10 minutes and just keep the ball. But he's going to be an expensive option to do that in League One.
Yeah, right. Let's move on to the forwards then. We've got Bailey Cadamartra, Ike Ugbo, Jamal Lowe, Charlie McNeil and George Brown to get through. Bailey Cadamartra, I have said keep. I think, we was considering the other ones that we've got, we need to can't just get rid of all of them. And I think maybe we'll see. I know we could have did a bit of a deep dive into him last week and stuff, but maybe we're going to see a bit more from him in League One, and maybe this could be a season where he does actually start to stake a claim for being Sheffield Wednesday's number 9, maybe, because we'll get on to what the current number 9 might not be here next season. I would keep Bailey Cadamartra.
I think if there's an offer over £2 million, sell immediately. Yeah. I think if there's an offer over £2 million, I don't think there's more than £2 million worth of value there. I don't see how the player adapts from all of the conversation that we had last week. And I also think that he's been here too long, is the honest answer. I think we are stunting the player's development and he needs to go out and find regular first. I know this is a total in exact opposition to exactly what I said about George Hurst earlier, but George Hurst has become a better footballer after leaving us. I think if there's an offer over 2 million, Cads can go and find somewhere else to go and play football and score goals. Brilliant.
I suppose maybe he might be looking and thinking, I've been getting in the Jamaica side. Am I better than League One? Maybe.
And his brother's gone and done well.
We'll see what his agent thinks as well. You never know. Ike Ugbo. Ike Ugbo is get rid of him. The thing is, how do we get rid of him? Because who the bloody hell is going to want to buy Ike Ugbo? Absolutely nobody. Because the last time I checked, David Blunkett didn't own a football club. So we're just stuck with him, aren't we? We're all stuck with Ike Ugbo.
I think you loan him. Personal opinion, I think you'd loan him.
Where does he go though? Who's going to take a punt on him?
Somebody in League One will take him desperately because he'll come with a name because he once upon a time scored 7 in 7. If you offered him out for loan this January, he'd have a line of suitors in League One desperate to take him.
What wage contribution are we on about? I mean, would we have to pay them to take him?
No. I'm being serious. I'm convinced, James.
Stop it there.
If you just stop it there. If you offered him up for loan in January and said he's available now, you would get Bolton, Luton, those teams that are like 4th down to 10th in League One who'd all take him.
Do you know what? Genuinely, I think knowing that we are going to be in League One, why don't we just loan him into League One and then see if he's going to be any good in League One when we get there?
Correct. Yeah. But what's the alternative? Because you're not going to be able to sell him because nobody's going to pay a fee for him. You're then just releasing the player to another club. Okay, cool. He won't go abroad again because he's done that and it didn't work out for him well in France and he was just constantly loaned back. What's the alternative? Like, because you're just going to release a player just because he's had a shit time of it and all the like. And again, I completely understand the logic. He has not scored a goal in like 18 months. It's fucking terrible. But there needs to be some sort of, to try and get some monetary value back, you have to try and get something out of him. Staying at Sheffield Wednesday is not going to do that. So a loan will do that between January and the end of the season. And then you can make a decision.
The problem you've got, though, as well, is I didn't know this, but he's signed. He's got another 2 years on his contract. Yeah. By all accounts, he's probably one of the highest paid players at Sheffield Wednesday as well. If we're talking about League One clubs, they've not got the budget to pay for his wages. So my understanding, so if it says on, let's just argument's sake, it says on £20,000 a week. Yeah. For those that don't know, if new club, someone said Stockport today, right, let's use Stockport the example.
Yeah, good example.
They come in and they go, right, we'll have him. Even if we gave him away for nothing, like he signed on a free, like we did with George Byers, he would have to, unless he just agreed to it, but he would
still got to pay him out the contract,
Yeah, so if he got £10,000 a week, let's just say, we would have to continue to pay him £10,000 a week for 2 years until the end of his contract to like make up his shortfall. Now, I think he could, if that prevented him from moving and he was desperate to move, he could agree to not have that, but he is entitled to that. Do you know what I mean? Like that could,
he won't agree to that. Yeah,
we could say. Like that could stop the move from happening, couldn't it? Because we're like, we're not going to do that because we might as well have him pay for another £10,000 a week, or it might even be it's £15,000 a week or something. We could go, we'll just keep him then, and he might be like, I'm not fucking playing. I want to go and play. So that adds an whole level of complication into the matter. Jamal, though, I've said get rid of him. He's one of the most underwhelming signings that we have made. Yeah. I saw a goal from 4 or 5 years ago that he scored.
Cardiff.
Yeah, where is that player? Like, I've not seen anything of that. Like the pace, the control. He's got like 2 trampolines on his feet at the moment. I stand by what I said. I don't think he's bothered. That's probably harsh, but he's on the decline. And could he be better in League One? Maybe. We've got other players, George Brown, Charlie McNeil, who we're going to come on to, which I think could step in his footsteps, to be fair. And we can sign other players as well. We can do better than Jamal, though, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think he's release for me. I think he'll be playing League One football next year, personal opinion. I think he'll do well for somebody in League One next year.
Probably score against us.
No, and that's what I mean, James, is because I haven't seen him in a competent side. And when he was in a half-competent side, he was never going to get into it because of the system that we were playing. I think if you were to put him into a system that suited him, I think at League One level, he would... I don't know whether he scored goals. I think that side to him's gone. I think he would be creative. But then I would argue that you're potentially hindering others who are in that position, which is why, for me, he gets released.
It's a weird one, because if we'd have signed him in the summer, like this summer coming up for League One, I'd probably be, he'd probably be all right. But I think, having had the last two, the worst 2 seasons that we've ever had, like, in terms of behind the scenes and stuff, really turbulent times, it's probably not doing him any good either. He probably knows he's not done very well. He probably just also doesn't want to be here. And again, wrong side of 30 as well. Sorry if I'm whizzing through these because I'm just conscious of time. Charlie McNeil is the next one. What we're saying, Matt?
Yeah, keep. him and should we combine the next two, James?
You can do if you want. Yeah,
combine the next two. Charlie McNeil and George Brown. Keep those are your two strikers who you build your strike force around for the next 3 years. It's genuinely, it's that simple. Both of whom have proved that they are natural goal scorers at this level. For myself, not just this level, but definitely at League One level. For me, as I mentioned last week, I don't think Bailey Cadamarteri has proved that for me at either level. Charlie McNeil and George Brown have proved that they are also the type of player that I want to see our attackers be. I want them to. That is the pairing that I play up front next year. It's not one and then one plays in behind him and one does this, because I don't think Charlie McNeil is technically good enough to play the Josh Windass role that I know a lot of people mention that he's good at, and he looks like, because they look the same. I think Charlie McNeil to me is like, do you remember Jack Marriott when he was good at Peterborough?
Yeah.
Like, he just scores for fun. That is who Charlie McNeil is to me. Like, he just pops up and scores every game. And you're like, how the fuck has he done that? He's done nothing for 90 minutes, but he scores and he wins you the game. George Brown, to me, is exactly what I want from a Sheffield Wednesday forward. Pace, energetic, nasty streak to him, but also can put the ball in the net.
Yeah, and he again just disappointed that he's been injured. He's coming back from injury sometime soon, maybe for the start of like in January, and maybe he's going to see a bit more of him. But yeah, I've said keep both of them as well. I think we've been pretty similar throughout this, to be honest. I think Charlie McNeil he's scored a few goals now. He's getting a little bit of confidence. Clearly that. The penalty miss has not knocked him too much and stuff. He's come back and scored another goal, which I think great for his confidence and everything else. I suppose there's a question. He's come out of the Man United academy. He's then dropped into the Championship. He's now going to drop into League One. There's a question mark over whether he would actually want to stay in League One. Perhaps might, depending on how the remainder of the season goes. And if he's got 3 now. If he scores another 4 or 5 between now and the end of the season, there could be an element of he might be thinking, well, I can stay in the Championship. I don't need to drop into League One.
Could have gone to Everton in the summer. I'm joking.
There is that element that might throw a bit of a curveball in there, because I think a lot of people forget when we talk about players and stuff. People think it's just whatever the club says, that's what happens. So and so's in for them. Oh, why has he not gone there? But there's loads of other stuff that come into it. We know we are capital M, capital A. Yeah. But to him, it was just another. I mean, he's 22. September is his.
Sorry, James. Sorry to cut you. He to me is a confidence player and wants to be loved. That's very evident since he left Manchester United. He went on loan to Newport, didn't really work there. Came to Wednesday, clearly didn't feel very appreciated last year with that. Do you remember when he came on? He went, at least I touched the ball in the after the match thing. I think if you committed to playing him and you also committed to playing him centrally, stop all this fucking playing him out on the right wing. He's not you look at the goals that he scored for Sheffield Wednesday, they're in the width of the goal. They're not like out from here and outrageous. They are smack in the middle of the goal. Play him and George Brown centrally. Sheffield Wednesday scores 70 goals, just them two, and we don't concede because we've got Pierce Charles, Ernie Weaver, Max Lowe. Who else? Deshaun Bernard, and Wednesday pissed the league, and George Byers is back saluting in front of the Kop.
There we go. Job done. Quick, I'm just going to bring this one up. Quick, Daniel says, so in all, how many does that leave us with? 6 to 7 players, so 11 to 12 players needed a minimum in the summer. Well, I'll just have a quick look. So the list of people that we could keep would be, we'd have a squad of Deshaun Bernard, Dom Iorfa. Oh, no, I said we sorted that for Cooper. So it's Deshaun Bernard, Liam Cooper, Sean Fazer, Ernie Weaver, Svante Ingelsson, Barry Bannon, Bailey Cadamarteri, Charlie McNeil, and George Brown. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players that we'd have. But Barry Bannon's only half a player because he's only going to play half of the games, and Liam Cooper's only half as well. So it's 8 players. But that we'd have.
I know this sounds ridiculous, James. That is an incredibly solid 8 to build an incredibly competitive League One side around, with a nice blend of experienced, midway through their career, and young players.
Yeah, totally agreed. Right, let's wrap the things up because people are getting far too much value for money on this Patreon. Another hour-long extra time episode, nearly as long as the extra time that we had in, the start of the season where they were actually, what we're trying to get at, where the referees were actually counting how much time was being played.
Yeah.
Nearly as long as those episodes. But yeah, right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Do really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying all the extra content as well. If there was a press conference, I would do a bit of a roundup, but we didn't have one this week, so there might be one. There might be one for the Ipswich game in midweek, but we'll find out. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you all next time. Cheers.